Hi, this is Rob from SeeHowToDoIt.com. Before we start, we'd like to thank you for watching. We'd also like to ask you to please like, subscribe, and share on social media, and visit us at SeeHowToDoIt.com, where you can learn more and address any concerns or issues you have. Today we're going to show you how to do a complete PM on a Phoenix Swamp Cooler Aerocool Trophy Series. We're going to go through pretty much the whole cooler, replace all the media, clean out all the scale buildup. So let's get started. All right, we're going to get started by removing the top cover over here, and we're going to remove the 1/4-inch screws, which are here, here, and here. You might even have some missing screws if people didn't put them back from the age of it, or they could be bigger than 1/4-inch. So you remove it here, here, and also here. We'll go ahead and remove those, and then this cover will come out along with the front cover over here. Okay, we've went ahead and removed those screws, so we're going to go ahead and pop off the top cover. And also the front cover will come off there too. All right, now that we have the covers off, you can get a view of what the inside of the swamp cooler looks like. You can see that pretty much the media here is pretty much done. It's destroyed from neglect, all the calcium buildup. And so pretty much now we're going to go ahead and remove the distributor, which you're going to disconnect this hose over here. Be really careful because the plastic could be dry rot and you could crack it really easily. So we'll go ahead and remove that hose there. And then we could just lift this out of the way here. And you can see it came off. And this is our distributor right over here, which we're going to go ahead and clean that up too. But first we're going to go ahead and remove the media. And now we're going to go ahead and remove it. And because this has been neglected, it's going to be a little bit hard to remove. It's one of them out. We're going to remove the other one out here. All right, now as you can see, this gives us a lot better view of the inside of the cooler, and you can see there's quite a bit of scale buildup. If you have a power washer, your best bet would be to wash this out with a power washer versus a garden hose, because you're going to want to clean out all this scale on the inside. We don't want any of this left over when we go ahead and put the swamp cooler back together. Okay, we've finished cleaning the inside. As you can see, it came out very nicely. Almost removed all the scale completely, and this is how you want it to look. Now we're going to move forward. We're going to go ahead and oil the bearings, and we're going to go ahead and replace the belt. And after that, we'll go ahead and put back in the media and start putting it back together. Okay, this might be a little bit hard to see, but we're going to do the best we can here. We'll go ahead and lift up the flap right over here, as you can hopefully see there. And then we're going to go ahead and insert the tube. And now we're going to go ahead and squeeze some oil in. We'll turn the squirrel cage as we go. As you can see now, it's just about ready to overflow a little bit. That's good there. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out, and we're going to repeat these steps on the other side. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove this cover. It's a lot easier to see it on this side. So we're going to go ahead and lift up the flap here. Go ahead and put in the tube. We'll start squirting in while spinning the cage. All right, and it's overflowed there, so we're good there. We're going to go ahead and pull it out. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove our belt, and always make sure when you're doing any kind of service on a swamp cooler, make sure it's powered off. So we're going to go ahead and remove the belt. As you can see, this is pretty loose. It's in pretty shabby condition, so we'll go ahead and pull it out a little bit towards us. As you can see, it pops right off. And on most belts, you'll be able to see what part number it is, which you could probably see that right over there. It's 4L-550. So we're going to go ahead and get that and replace it. And we'll also put links in the description for all the parts we're replacing today. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and install our belt here and take it out and stretch it out a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and put the first half of the belt onto the pulley on the motor, and then we'll go ahead and put it around the squirrel cage pulley, and then we're going to slowly spin around. Be careful not to get your fingers caught. And once you get it on here, this is pretty good tension here. If you didn't have this kind of tension, you're going to go ahead and loosen up this bolt right over here and also this bolt here. And once you have that loose, you'll push back in the motor here until you have tension close to this. Then you go ahead and tighten back down on this bolt and this bolt here. Okay, now that we have our belt installed, we're going to go ahead and work on our distributor. And once again, you're going to want to be very careful because this is only plastic, and because of the age of it, it could very well be dry rotted. On this end over here, we're going to go ahead and pull back a little bit and go ahead and slip this out here. And then you can see this cap here. We'll go ahead and remove this cap. As you can see, there's a lot of scale buildup inside there. And we're going to go ahead and slide it down here a little bit and just pull up a little bit gently on this. Be very careful because you can snap the plastic. However, if you do snap the plastic, you could probably mount it with a piece of wire by popping 2 holes on one side and then loop it around here. So now we have a little bit of room here, and you can see all these holes are really plugged. So we're going to go ahead and get a paper clip and poke the paper clip through every one of these holes here, which you can see some of them are, like this one, completely plugged. All right, I couldn't find a paper clip laying around, but I was able to find a bobby clip, so we're going to go ahead and use that, and we'll go ahead and poke it in each hole and wiggle it around. And if you can't get them in some of them, don't worry about it, because we're going to have to snake out the inside of this pipe too. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this process for all the holes. So you can see this one, it's a little bit tight, but it did go in there. So we're going to go all the way down and complete the process. Okay, we've finished reaming out the holes with the bobby pin, and now we're going to go ahead and use a snake to snake out the inside of this to get the rest of the scale out. I'm going to go ahead and use a fish tape. If you have a coat hanger, you could always go ahead and use the coat hanger. And if it's really hard and you're not able to get it in there, you might have to possibly soak the tube first. So we're going to go ahead and put it in there. As you can see, it's going in, and then we'll take it out a little bit to bring out some of the debris, as you can see coming out there. And we'll keep on repeating that process until we get all the debris out. Okay, once we have it snaked out, we're going to also run some water through it, and we're going to still leave the cap off at the end. And this should knock out the rest of the debris. And you might even have to go back and unplug all the holes again with the paper clip or bobby pin or whatever you've decided to use. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is all clean. Then we're going to reinstall it. We're going to go ahead and reinstall our swamp cooler pump. And whenever you install any kind of swamp cooler pump, you're going to want it to be in a net or a basket, which was not here before. And unfortunately, I forgot to pick one up. So I'm going to, for the video, reinstall it without the net or a basket. But you do want one to be here to be able to catch all the debris and all the scale that's going to build up. And also, too, if your pump was bad, it'll be as simple as reinstalling how I'm showing this one. So we're going to go ahead and mount it back down. And then we'll go ahead and plug it back in here. And it just slips in the cord right over here. This is for the pump, and this is for the motor over here. Now that that's installed, we're ready for the next step. And now the next step, we're going to insert the media. And you always want to insert the media facing the proper way. As you can see right over here, the airflow will go this way, which will go in the swamp cooler. And on this replacement media kit, it requires you to use some styrofoam as filler. So we're going to go ahead and start the installation of the media. All right. And just as we were talking, right over here, the airflow goes this way. And that means it goes this way in the swamp cooler because the air is going to be sucked into the swamp cooler. So we want the arrow facing in this way. So we're going to go ahead and insert this right over here. And just so you can see a little bit better, we'll show you where it sets. When you put it in the media, it's going to set on here and also right over here, as you can see it right there. And we're going to go ahead and insert the next piece of media. Once again, we're going to face the airflow with it pointed in, just as you see it there. We're going to go ahead and slip this down here. And you're going to make sure it's seated in on both of the bottom parts of the plastic where I showed you. And then from there, we're going to use the fill that came with the kit. And that's just going to go in the end right over here. Be careful sliding it down there. And now our media is installed. Okay, keep in mind also, you can use this method for pretty much any swamp cooler, replacing the media and doing just general service. They're pretty much all the same. So now we're ready to go ahead and reconnect our distributors here. And pretty much it's going to lay right over here on the inside on this lip here and also this lip here. We'll put this back down here. We'll go ahead and slip it in the lip right over here as I showed you, and we'll pull this back here a little bit to be able to slip it in here. As you can see, it's laying nice down in there. Now we'll go ahead and get our hose, and we'll go ahead and slip our hose back in here. Yours might possibly have a hose clamp. If it does, put it back on there. Now we're going to want to test our distributor to make sure it's working right and how it's moving across the media. So you're going to want to go ahead and fill your swamp cooler now up with water. Okay, we've went ahead and filled up our swamp cooler back up with water. And right now the pump is running. As you can see, we have, should be able to see that we have water in there. And you could also lift up a little bit, and you want to make sure all your distributors are working, which you should have tested them all with the garden hose when you cleaned it out, which you can see mine are pretty much all going here. There's some good water flow there, so we're going to go ahead and push this back down. And now you're going to want to pretty much go through the swamp cooler, make sure you don't have any leaks or any drips coming outside of the cabinet anywhere. And as you can see, the media is starting to get wet. We're going to let this process go for a little bit to make sure the pump works good, and then move on. Okay, everything's looking really good with the media. The pump's working really well. And pretty much, you know, when you go through the swamp cooler, you're going to want to clean everything out. If you have a leaf blower, you could even blow out the inside of the swamp cooler with a leaf blower and get it real clean like you see in here. So now we're going to go ahead and make sure the blower works good, and we'll be... Okay, everything's looking pretty good with the blower, along with the pump and the media getting wet. Everything's operating very well. We're going to go ahead and power it back down, and we're going to put it back together and get it ready to put in service. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start putting it back together now. And sometimes with swamp coolers, as they get older, cabinet parts might not fit right. Doors might be bent, so you just gotta work with it and make it work. You might even have to use different screws if the holes become stripped out. Okay, we have that back down. We're gonna go ahead and put our screws back in, holding in the top. We'll go ahead and put back on our door. We'll go over to the other side and do the other door. Okay, now both doors are on. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how to completely go through the swamp cooler and PM it, get ready for startup with new media. And pretty much you could use this theory for almost any kind of swamp cooler. It's just a couple little bit different steps. Once again, we'd like to thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share on social media, and visit us at seehowtodoit.com. We also have other videos how to connect swamp cooler pumps, how to adjust swamp cooler floats. Check it out. Thank you.